For years I had wanted to do this show because it really focused on the glass. Other shows are more industry shows, and I know there have been a few that I never participated in that also focused on the glass, but it just had a different vibe. This show's really, it's professional, staff is professional. They're all glass enthusiasts, not just pipe or weed enthusiasts. It's all encompassing. The Millie artists and the marble artists and the sculptural artists. The creatives in the medium get to have a platform at this show. And I've been able to show some things that weren't necessarily functional and still had an incredible response. Just because of the crowd that it attracts. They're in it for the glass. They just love the glass.
Yeah, exactly. Like I try to, I want to make sure that I'm doing my own thing and, not confusing or muddying the memory and stuff. So I like to save performing full sets of my father's material for charity events, something that's going to benefit so that it's not just to further my own career with what I'm trying to do. I like to play his music to sort of bring people together, raise awareness for appropriate causes. And so far, the big one has been my Aunt Kelly, my dad's sister, founded the Knoll Family Foundation. So the attempt is to raise awareness about the opioid crisis with musicians and artists that's happening right now. So many young, blossoming talents are lost way, way too soon. My dad being one of them, and with the crazy rise of fentanyl, it just keeps getting more and more scary. So Bradley's House is something that they're trying to open up. They're trying to open up treatment centers to help struggling musicians get the treatment they need in an environment that is, familiar with that world, like our family is. And so it's just trying to turn that tragedy and make it into something beautiful. Yeah, like I was saying, I had no idea what we were walking into. And then we pull up and all the security knows who I am, and they give the dude this thing, they give a badge and waters and Red Bull. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Nice big stage. The crowd was amazing tonight. It's such a cool event.
I'd have to say that I take life pretty easy, and the lamp working for me has certainly allowed me to live it on those terms. I've been working for 23 years, just about as long as my oldest daughter has been with us on the planet, and the entire time I went further with glass the entire time because it was easier to do than to go get a job and work for somebody. So in that regard, it's easy. Not that it's without its struggles, but proportionally, I can't imagine what kind of struggles I'd have encountered if I hadn't wound up in a creative community, making my fortune and supporting my family off of creative endeavors with awesome creative people. I mean, the benefits outweigh the risks.
I mean, being a lamp worker gave me freedom. I don't think there's a lot of trades left in the United States like that, where people are making handmade objects one at a time and, you know, able to be creative and be their own boss. That being said, it's been a huge learning experience to learn about the business side of things and find the balance between it being a job and trying to experiment and try things that aren't necessarily commercial. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't change anything at all. I love it, and it's given me the beautiful life I've had, and I have literally zero complaints. So I wouldn't want to do anything else.
For me, it's primarily the most important thing for me in my life is to be authentic. And I'm very independent and creative and an artist primarily. And this job, it challenges me in a way that it keeps me coming back every day, because for me, it's not come easily. It's like I see some people and I'm like, man, it seems like they've been blowing glass for 2 years and it looks like they've been doing it for 30 years. It didn't come that easily for me, but that challenge has like really made me stick with it and be able to work for myself. I'm like, you know, my boss is a total bitch, but she's also a sweetheart.
In some aspects, it's a challenge in and amongst itself. But like anything any creative individual does, it's a double-edged sword. So you get the blessing and the curse of being able to work with glass, and break the glass and be cut by it and burnt by it and have a, you know, fairly volatile industry wrapped around a paycheck. But for me personally, I don't, as hard as I've tried, I've never been able to escape just the personal growth it allows me. So it's changed me and molded me in very profound ways that I don't think any other medium can do.
When I come home to Glass Vegas, that's what it is. It feels like coming home. We all know they've always said home is where the heart is. And this community is nothing but heart. And so when you come here and you see your friends and you see all the people, maybe you haven't seen some of them in years. I'm connecting with people I haven't seen in a decade. And when we come into this place, you can feel it. Everybody's here in their hearts. The mind things left with the phone back home. We're all here showing up in real life, flesh and blood. And we see each other, it's like coming home. So for me, that's what is created when you get this many heart-centered individuals who love craft and glass and art, herb, all the finer things, and together. So it's a homecoming. That's what it is for me. Meeting up with people who feel the art in the same way that it's created and having that connection. We only get a couple days, a couple weekends, a few weekends a year at most when we're actually in this real world with the community. And so I've been doing this for a long time, and the first 5, 6, 8 years before the internet took off, it was only person-to-person community. It was only people showing their work to each other, you know, showing it to collectors and fans. There was always a heart-to-heart, human-to-human, you know, eyes-to-eyes connection between the makers and the appreciators, you know? And makers and appreciators are often the same, you know, we come here as glass blowers to nerd out on each other's glass just as much as people who don't melt come to nerd out and love glass, so.
I love it. Good energy. You never know what you're going to see. Man, I just saw $1 million piece. That's half the size as me. I mean, it's going places, you know? I always tell people that this is going to be in the history books. It might not be now, but like 10, 20 years, just because of what I was just saying, like, things are evolving, new techniques. When's the last time, like I'm saying, an oil painter ran into a new technique? It's always been in stone. Like, new things are happening in art, which is, it's really cool. So I like to tell people that, and I like to look for it. I'm always amazed by what people do. They put two together, it's like, damn. So yeah, no, I've started off in the torch, sweating for 15 years. It's been the last 3 years I've been doing a lot of the cold working.
If I had one word to describe Las Vegas, I think it would be happiness. And I know that sounds kind of maybe hippie, but it's like everybody here is pretty much happy. If you look around, like everybody's got smiles on their face, we're all interacting, we're saying hi, we haven't seen each other in a year or whatever it may be, or 6 months, and so that's what I kind of get from it. I don't feel like I do have RBF, so I do have like a resting bitch face. However, for the most part, I will be smiling.
I'll tell you what, I've been coming to these shows for 20 years and I've got some good friends that are involved with each of them, ones that, no longer go on and ones that do, but there's something special about Amy and the way she works things. And I know her mom has been involved in the industry for many years. We had crossed paths way back during bead show days, and so when the GV thing came back around with a lot of local Las Vegas glass fam really, that kind of piqued my interest, and then I came down and got to know her and just love her to death. Like everything that we needed to have happen for the most part, she's always done everything she could to make it happen, absolutely just on the floor running around trying to make sure people's needs are met. She's like the school mom, handling it for all of us students.
Artist Fund is a way that we as the community can help lift each other up. Me personally, I had a really bad house fire a couple years ago and lost everything. It was incredibly, incredibly humbling. The generosity of perfect strangers is something that touches me on such a deep level. It's another reason that I can't imagine doing anything else with my life, because I want to be a part of a community that can give so generously.
I think the World Series of Glass, I think that's cool. Reason being is I think that it brings an aspect to the show that, you know, people coming to attend it get to see the best of the pieces throughout the year. And I think that's important for, you know, just seeing, like, you know, how far people are pushing the industry. You know, every piece that's in that you know, competition, I mean, it takes hours and hours and hours. So it's like, you know, I think having that and having artists be able to display the best of the best there, I think it's neat that everybody gets to see that.
If I can describe Las Vegas in one word, love. The love. It's all about the love.